It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and this is CarEdge Live for Friday, March 7th, with your hosts, me, Ray, in Ventnor, and, Zach, hoodied and baseball capped in Washington, D.C. What could possibly be going on, handsome?
I need a haircut. Let's just say it. Let's just say it like it is. I need a haircut, but you know what?
Yeah.
Girl I'm seeing likes the long hair, so we're going to keep the long hair, man. Get the best deal, save thousands of dollars. What's that look for, Dad? CarEdge.com. No sponsor for today's show. Just us, damn it. If we can help y'all out with anything, over 5.5 years of doing the best we can to advocate for car buyers. Check it out, CarEdge.com. Things like dealer invoice price. You can skip the dealership with our car buying service. We can help you sell your car and so much more, as seen on the Today's Show. Dad,
before you start, if the girl you're seeing like diamonds, would that mean that she's going to be adorned with lots and lots of diamonds?
You know the answer to that. Yeah. Yes. This is yes. I'm easy. I'm easy, folks. I'm easily swayed. All right. Let's go, Dad. Let's jump right in to the big story this morning.
I thought that was the big story, but
we have in the state of Maryland, the attorneys general going after a car dealership group, in this case, Dar Cars Honda, on 22060 Crane Highway in Bowie, Maryland. They're going to have to return up to $3 million to consumers because between January 1st, 2019 and May 10th, 2022, they added a sales commission fee to their car deals. And Dad,
yes,
I actually went ahead and I tweeted at the Maryland State Attorneys General this morning, Dad, because this is for Dar Cars Honda. Yes. What did we tweet out back on February 1st, 2024? Let's look at this, folks.
This is over a year ago.
Yeah, over a year ago. Dar Cars Nissan of Rockville, 2% sales commission, not required by law, added to the price of the vehicle. So I'm calling on the Maryland State's Attorneys General. If we're going after Dar Cars Honda, what are we doing for Dar Cars Nissan of Rockville? Dad, what the heck is going on here? And this is good. This is a good thing for consumers, right?
What's going on here is apparently our tipping culture has gotten way out of hand, and that car dealers think it's important. I mean, I don't know why they just didn't put on their tip. What's going on here is something I have always said, and that is that dealership personnel are some of the most creative, if not unscrupulous, people on the face of the planet, in my opinion.
Yep.
And because I have to preface this in my
please. Big opinion day for us, folks.
And so for them to put on their buyer's order, making it look official, that there's a 2% commission. And I guarantee you that commission ain't going to the salesperson on top of what their commission from the deal would be. So it's just an extra money grab from unknowing, unsuspecting customers. It takes an incredible level of creativity to say, I bet you if we put on their commission 2%, people will pay it. And they do. And they did.
And the tune of just at that Honda dealership, $3 million over 3 years. Think about that. $3 million.
But the worst part, the absolute worst part is that the dealership said, okay, we're writing the check. We're not admitting any guilt. It's just cheaper to do it this way than it is to bear the expense of actually going to court. I, Ray A. Shefska, and the A stands for Alan. Ray A. Shefska would love for states at some point in time to roll the dice, refuse to settle, take these people to court, find them guilty. Let a jury of their peers, and my God, I don't know that you could find a jury of their peers because they'd have to be the most corrupt people in America. But to find a jury of their peers to listen to the facts in these cases and find these people guilty, and then the fine might be $12 million or $15 million or $45 million, whatever it may be. And instead of just a fine, maybe there should be some jail time associated for the people that are involved, because this starts at the top of an organization. Okay, this wasn't just a sales manager saying, well, here at our dealership, we'll add a 2%. No, this starts at the top, at the very, very top of the organization, because there's no way that ownership couldn't know it was happening and not only did they know it was happening, they approved it to happen. So just one time, run the risk, take these.
What is the benefit of doing that, Dad? Because what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here is people are going to get their money back, right? They're going to get their money back.
Yeah.
And that's a good outcome, right? Are you saying that if there was really strict enforcement, then people would
what
stop doing this?
What I'm saying is, when they admit that it's just cheaper.
And wait, we got to do this, Dad. Susie saying you literally did this for a living, so you must be a crook.
I'm afraid not, Susie. I was one of the ones that wasn't a crook, but that's okay. If you'd like to paint with that broad of a brush, you go right ahead and do it. I understand it. I'm not going to fight you on it. All I'm going to say is the reason I want them to take a shot one time is when a dealership group says it's cheaper to just pay a fine and not admit guilt than go through the expense of a trial. And if the outcome of the trial could be that the fine that they pay is 15 times larger than what they're paying now, or that there could be jail time for someone in upper management who approved of this practice, and the case is successful, I think that sends a message to other dealerships that you can't just buy your way out of it.
Sure.
Okay, that there are some real consequences associated with illegal activities. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. I mean, that's just thievery, pure, unadulterated thievery. And yeah, the dark horse is huge. That $3 million check is like a $10 tip for them on their $20 lunch. It means nothing. So that's why. Just one flipping time, let the state attorney general say, nope, we're not settling. We are going to court. We don't care if we win or lose, but we're pretty sure we're going to win. Let's roll the dice.
Let me come to the the article here, Dad. I want to read through some of this. The Maryland Attorney General added that those eligible for refunds will be contacted by a third-party claims administrator, or they could call the AG's Consumer Protection Division. Quote, dark cars may not offer or sell any add-on products to consumers unless they first clearly, conspicuously disclose the total selling price of the vehicle without any added cost or charges for the add-on products. Attorney General Brown said Dark Cars Honda of Bowie denied on Wednesday that the dealership did anything against the law, noting that the settlement was not an admission of guilt. Quote, while Honda of Bowie reached an agreement with the Attorney General's office, we were fully prepared to prove in court that our practices are consistent with the law and industry standards, a dealership spokesperson said Wednesday. Quote, today's resolution is simply a business decision that allows the dealership to avoid the expense and distraction of litigation, end quote. The settlement comes as Attorney General Brown already has an open lawsuit against other area car dealerships, including Lindsay Automotive Ford dealership in Wheaton, Maryland, and Lindsay's Chevy dealer in Woodbridge, Virginia. In the lawsuit against the Lindsay dealerships, the complaint charges Lindsay with overpricing 88% of the cars sold between 2020 and 2023. So this all has to do with advertising one price, claiming one price, and selling the vehicle at a
Yeah,
different price. And I want to pull up one other piece of information here,
yeah,
which, we don't get dealers reaching out to us all that often with a negative tone,
yes.
but we do have dealers that have contacted us in the past and asked to be excluded from CarEdge. And here's that list of dealerships. There's actually one more that we need to add, a Checkered Flag, I think, or something like that. Dealer group recently reached out to us, but you can see
Out of
here.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah, yep, they asked to be removed, which was a real bummer, real shame. And these are large groups. I mean,
Yeah.
Hendrick and Dark Cars are really large groups. Luther is in the Midwest, and they requested to not be able to be found through CarEdge because evidently they did not want CarEdge customers to purchase from their dealerships. And you can see Airport Marina, Honda, and Galpin Ford. Real bummer, but you know what? Not too terribly surprising when you see headlines like these.
The best part of what you read was that they could prove that it was part of the industry standards of ongoing practices.
Yeah.
Well, if that is not an indictment of industry standards of ongoing practices, I don't know what is. Okay, if you think that's acceptable because so many in the industry do that, then the industry needs to take a much closer look at itself and say, are we really as customer friendly and customer focused as we could or should be? And I think the answer would be, if you really delve into it when you're looking into that mirror, the answer would be no.
Yeah.
And why do you want to be part of something that, when that's the answer? Clean up the industry, clean up there are ways to sell vehicles without having to lie, cheat, or steal. There just are.
I wonder, Dad, will we see the Maryland State's attorney go after Dark Horse Nissan of Rockville? Because again,
Yes,
this is literally right. I mean, like, it's got 25,000 views. Like, I don't know. People saw this back in February. This was a year ago, February of last year. So I wonder if we will see more enforcements coming soon. I want to turn over to the chat here for a second. Dan. Dark Car's revenue is around $2.5 billion annually, so a pretty large auto group. I think they're in 5 or 6 states and have about 30 stores. There you go. That could explain why a $3 million settlement makes business sense. We've got here from Baron. Thank you, Baron. So naive. The public doesn't have the attention span, and the state can't afford it money-wise. The AG wants the win, and the corporation can claim innocence. I don't think, to be clear, I think we all understand what's happening here. My dad's point that I'm hearing is, what would be the precedent that would be sent if one of these things actually went fully to trial and someone was found guilty? To be clear, any business, I think, would operate. This is not car dealer specific. Any corporation that ends up in litigation, they would prefer to settle. It's way you get rid of the distractions. It makes tons of sense.
No, I get it. I get why it's done. There's lawyers involved, and lawyers are going to say to ownership, I'm going to work on a settlement. We're going to work on it. We don't want to go to trial. We don't want this. Let's figure out a way to settle. My point is, and this started decades ago, where it becomes incumbent upon the guilty party to not admit guilt but settle and write a huge check, and it becomes incumbent upon the party bringing the suit to just want to figure out a way to get, as Barron said, a win. And the win is to get the dealer to write a check. So a long time ago, the lawyers got involved. They all sat around together, had a big lunch. Okay, probably had lobster rolls and stuff for lunch because they can afford it. And they just said, hey, anytime this type of stuff comes up, well, let's all just agree that we're going to figure out a way to settle. We're not going to admit any guilt. It looks good for you, the attorney general, or the FTC, or whoever it is. Nobody has to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars taking something to trial. So that just became the way things are. That doesn't mean it's the right way. It just means it's the way things are. And I am just begging, one flipping time, roll the dice. Okay? Go instead of just going for a cheap, easy ass win, go for the juggler and teach somebody a lesson in the industry so that the other dealers can look at it and go, I don't want to be next on that list. And maybe then you can get dealers to clean up their act, the bad dealers, in my opinion.
We're going to come here to Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it. Susie is trying to frame Ray. Pops is saying, I'm not a crook. Yeah, no, my dad's not a crook. There's a whole reason why we do this rather than you made even more money in your career taking advantage of people. That was certainly an option. You didn't choose it. Thank you for that. We've got here from Joe D. Tex as well. Thank you for the contribution. Scheffler Auto is the answer. Penske started late. Not sure what that's with regards to, but thank you, Joe, for the contribution. And then, Dad, you got to give some credit here to the Attorney General in Maryland. He is being incredibly aggressive, going after Lindsay and Dar cars all in the same period of time. So whether they take these things to trial and actually, go that far, Maryland's stepping up. The Attorneys General in Maryland and we've seen in Illinois too, big time stepping up.
And I said it to you when I sent you that article, and I said, at least this proves that there are enough laws on the books that if they just enforce the laws that exist, good things for consumers could happen. Okay? It's always boiled down to enforcement. If you have the rules and regulations on the books, but nobody's enforcing those rules and regulations, and those rules and regulations were meant to contain, no, you're not going to enforce them, then it's not going to do anything. At least in Maryland, that they're proven, okay, we're going to protect our citizenry, we're going to protect our constituents, we're going to do what we should have been doing, and we're going to enforce the rules and regulations that are already on the books. And my guess is it could probably be done in 49 other states and perhaps the territories of Puerto Rico and Guam. I'm just guessing. I'm spitballing here.
Joe was saying Shefska, not Scheffler. Shefska. Okay. Thank you for that, Joe. We appreciate it. We really, really do. 2 more comments here in the chat, and then we'll switch gears. From Jim, the CarEdge community does not have the reach to inform every shopper about these scams to affect the dealerships that use them. Yeah, it's so true. I actually think, again, I've talked a lot about the Today Show this week, but guys, it opened my eyes. We don't touch anyone. It's insane, Dad. It's insane. I realized that on Tuesday when I saw the impact of getting that mention on national broadcast television. We work our butts off, and we have for 5.5 years, and we thank and appreciate everyone who has been supported us and been a part of our community. We don't even exist is like the unfortunate reality that clicked in on Tuesday.
Oh, and
a million plus people come to our website every month. We don't exist. It's nuts, man.
And here's the worst part. To just commenters were saying, and nobody watches the Today Show. I mean, the Today Show isn't today what it was 40, 50 years ago. Okay. Because there's just too many other options out there for people to watch. So it doesn't necessarily have the reach that it had at one time. But even that diminished reach indicated to you just through the mention of our name, how impactful that could be, and how we aren't even a pimple on the ass of an elephant in the automobile industry. As much as we'd like to be a boil, we're not even a pimple. Okay. And yeah, there's a lot more work to do, and we're trying to do it.
Wild, man. Really, really became clear to me. From Sergio, thank you, Sergio. I'm getting several out-the-door prices from dealerships. Should I call a dealer back and tell them I got a lower offer? I am willing to show them the offer, trying to match offer or get a better one. Good idea. Yeah,
absolutely. You can, don't just say, hey, I got this. Share the offer with them. Let them see it in writing in black and white. Because if you just say I got it and you're not willing to share it with them, that would lead them to believe that maybe you don't really have that offer. So, share it. What's the worst that can happen? Your dealer goes, okay, I'll match it.
To be clear, this is what we coach you on and the experience that we walk people through back on CarEdge.com. So if you are going to buy a new or used car, you can choose that vehicle right there, and we'll walk you through how to negotiate and get that best deal. So yes, absolutely great idea there from Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate the contribution. Send him to jail, damn it, Zach. You missed the Nixon reference. Yeah, I did. I wasn't around during the Nixon presidency, so no, I don't know the Nixon reference.
I am
Let's
not
keep
a
it.
crook.
Let's
I,
keep
I,
it. Let's keep it. Okay, go ahead, Dad.
no. That's what Nixon said at one time. I am not a crook.
All right, let's keep it moving, Pops. Let's turn our attention to some good news in the
Yeah.
auto industry. I'll pull that up right here. This comes from Car Dealership Guy. The share of new cars priced under $30,000 is 27% higher year over year. The top contributors, the Kia K4, Chevy Trax, and Nissan Sentra. But the twist, the share of new cars priced over $70,000 also grew, led by heavy-duty trucks and full-size SUVs. Big picture, buyers are moving in opposite directions. More affordable options are returning, but demand for high-end trucks and SUVs isn't slowing down. So there you go. We're getting some good, some slightly good news here. More $30,000 and under new cars.
Well, yeah, because at a certain point, some of the manufacturers realized that they still have to cater to those people that can only afford a $30,000 or less vehicle, even though the profit margins aren't the same producing that type of vehicle as it is producing that $70,000 plus vehicle. But there's a market for those vehicles, and that market needs to be served. So some, not all the manufacturers, but some of the manufacturers are realizing that and doing something about it. And I guess the smart ones are increasing the amount of vehicles that they're offering at $30,000 and below, and at the same time increasing the number of vehicles that they're asking $70,000 and above for, so they can meet in the middle and still make, well, that giant ass profit that they seem to need at the end of every year.
From Baron, thank you, Baron. Commission sales need to end, period. That would change. That would change a lot of ways how the auto industry works. That's for sure. You know, companies like CarMax, Carvana, they don't have commission salespeople, and they operate very differently.
Yes. No. There's an old saying: be careful of what your pay plan is that you provide to people, because that will determine how your people operate. The pay plan you set up will dictate how your people operate. So if the pay plan is strictly based on gross profit, salespeople are going to figure out a way, even if they have to lie, cheat, and steal, to hold as much gross profit as they can. If a pay plan is set up to reward somebody for customer satisfaction, then salespeople could operate and would operate slightly differently. So pay plans dictate how your staff operates. Many dealers need to realize that, and oftentimes should look at reviewing how they're paying their staff, and the way they're paying their staff, is it bringing the greatest customer satisfaction to their stores? I always thought it was important to develop a relationship with whoever I personally sold the car to, or our store sold the car to. I just thought it made more sense to be able to sell somebody more than one car in their lifetime and my lifetime than to constantly go out and search for that replacement customer. I guess I looked at it differently than a lot of dealers do, but and maybe it's because I was in the Atlantic City area at that time, and I kind of looked and I said, well, there isn't going to be any growth population wise to the east, because that's the ocean, damn it. So there's only so much space for people to come in, so we're going to have a limited supply of customers. No sense in pissing any of them off. Build that relationship. That was always my theory.
Dad, I want to come back here to the chat we've got from Rich. Thank you, Rich. Very kind. Forget the $10,000 Toyota pickup. Check out the Talo truck. All right, we're doing the. Let's see it. What am I? Oh gosh,
we're going to the Google machine.
We're going to the Google machine. Let's see. 2 reviews, guys. 2 reviews, 5 stars.
Yeah.
There it is. There's the future. That's what Rich wants, folks.
Well, that's somebody's future.
I could see you in that. Looks like a little
you know,
souped up Mini Cooper, golf cart truck.
yeah, no, I could see me in that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
let's see if we can help some folks out in the community. From
Yeah.
Alejandro. Hey, Ray and Zach, lease or finance or buy 3 to 4 year old used vehicle? I change vehicles every 2 to 4 years. I got to sneeze.
Well, if you change vehicles every 2 to 4 years and you always want to have a new vehicle that's under warranty, you, my friend Alejandro, are the perfect lease candidate. You are the reason why leases exist. I mean, think about it for a minute. Back in the day when I started, which was a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen, 1977, people bought cars back then. They didn't lease them because, well, the typical loan term was 24 months. Today, we've grown to the part where loan terms are 84, 90, 96 months. I mean, crazy length of time. If you don't want to be beholden to a car as it ages and its potential for a major repair, and you always want to drive something that is under warranty and newer, you are the perfect lease candidate.
Yep.
You are accepting the premise that you're always going to have a car payment, whether it be for 3 years for that 36-month lease, or whether it be for 7 or 8 years for that 84 or 96-month purchase. The bank is holding your title. You are not. So if you are accepting of just always having a car payment and you want to replace your car every 3 years or so, you are a lease candidate.
So just want to take a moment here, Alejandro, back on CarEdge.com, click on research right there, and then scroll on down here. Where is it? Oh, come on. Depreciation, rankings, insights.
Here, while you're looking for that, here's one of the things, the big differences between a lease and a purchase.
Oh, dude, it's right there. Lease deals. Sorry, Alejandro. Just click on lease deals right there, and it'll take you to all of our lease deals. Sorry about that. And then, Dad, we got to do our favorite segment, and then I got to jump. So let's go.
Okay. Really? You have got to be kidding me.
No. Finish your thought for Alejandro.
Well, my thought was if at the end of 3 years on a lease, or if you're 3 years into a 7-year loan, the question becomes, do you want options or obligations? On a 3-year lease, you have options at the end.
Yep.
In most cases, you can buy the lease, you can turn back in, whatever. You can just go into a new car. 3 years into a 7-year loan, you still just are faced with obligations. So that's the question you need to ask yourself. Do you want options in 3 years or obligations? If you want options, you lease. If you want obligations, you buy.
From Matthew here. Thank you, Matthew. We appreciate. Ray, when half the cars are junk, then you can't base it on satisfaction, except Land Rover. Those buyers relish low expectations wrapped in Windsor leather. Nicely done, Matthew. That is that's a good one.
You were so right.
Let's go to our favorite segment of the show.
Okay. Really? You have got to be kidding me.
All right, man. Toyota 4Runners. We were talking about them yesterday. There's a huge influx of inventory because they're finally coming into the United States.
Yes.
And here you go. This is what dealers are doing. We've got a base MSRP of $59,630, $1,000 for Expel window tint, then $600 for Tire Safe. That's a registered trademark, folks. Nitrogen upgrade, $899 for the ZacTech protection package, $495.99 for the Expel protection package, which are your clear door edge guards and clear door handle guards. And then your classic $20,000 market adjustment, taking your VIP package total up to $22,995, taking that MSRP with dealer add-ons and options up to $82,625.
Yeah, that seems awfully reasonable, ladies and gentlemen. That would be a store I'd be rushing right over to. That's the business decision that owner made. They're going to sell every person one car, never sell them a second, because at a certain point, when you do that to customers, One day the ether wears off and they realize they paid $20,000 just for the privilege of being able to buy it.
Yeah.
And they got nothing for it. Okay. Other than they got to drive one sooner rather than later. Well, that's shame on the customer for having to have it so quickly, and even bigger shame on the dealership for knowing that customers have a weakness like that and that they are just going to exploit it. At some point in life, can't we just have reasonable gross profits with reasonable expectations as to how a customer is going to be treated, and we just move on in life happily?
Folks, if we can help you out with anything, CarEdge.com, 5.5 years strong. We are still, as my dad said earlier, not even a pimple on the butt of humanity. So please, if we can help you, let us help you. If you know someone who's in the market to buy or sell or research a vehicle, tell them about CarEdge. Tell them to Google us. Google CarEdge. We are here to serve you. Dad, I got to jump. I got an in-person meeting in 29 minutes, so I got to go hop in an Uber. I love you very much. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I am sure I will talk to you soon.
I love you equally as much, and go have a good meeting. We'll see you back here Monday, everybody.
See y'all. Thanks, guys.